Hello again and welcome back to Growing with Mags. Today I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about potting up tomatoes. These tomatoes I sowed should I say, on the 23rd of January, and I know I said at the time that I would grow these in the cold greenhouse, but after 2 or 3 weeks nothing was happening, so I did give in and put them on a windowsill above a radiator in the house. So they grow nicely now. So it's time to pot them up. They've got the first true leaves on them as well. They've got the baby leaves and then the first true leaves. So before you start to do any job like this, first of all, make sure that you're organised. Get your plant pots. I've got mine 9cm plant pots. Get your tray to put them on and your labels, and get your compost ready. So the compost is a peat-free compost, and it's got a bit of perlite in just to lighten it up a bit, but there's no food or anything in it yet. These are just going to grow on nicely in this 9cm pot, and then I will pot them up again in this one, which is about a 13cm, I think. Yeah, 13cm. Size doesn't matter that much. These will respond well in this sort of pot. You don't want to go straight into a massive pot because the plant itself will get cold and it won't grow. It needs to fill a pot with its roots and then be moved on, and that's a general rule with anything like this. Later on I will be showing you, not today because they're not quite big enough yet, but there's some little you can see those seedlings, those lettuce webs, wonderful. So I would put those in a tray like this. They don't want to go directly into a pot. We'll put those in trays and let them grow on. And similarly, I've got marigolds growing, and these are calendula, the old-fashioned old English marigolds. So I grow those to grow in with the tomatoes. I've also sowed today, just as a matter of interest, I've sowed basil, I've sowed chives and some French marigolds, and 2 lots of basil, and I'm going to grow those in the tomato house as I do most years, and it helps keep the pests and diseases away. But this year I'm going to actually grow the marigolds in the same compartment as I put the tomatoes in the grow bags, but that's for a later date. Okay, I'll just put the camera down a bit so you can see what I'm doing. There we are. So get one of your pots and put a little bit of compost in the bottom, about a sort of a third of the way up. You can see that. And then I use an old bent fork to pull them out, and just go in there, hold a leaf and gently tease it out, and this is what you get. Okay, into the pot, into the center, and put your compost around it. Try not to bury it as you go. There we go. So press it down lightly, and I always give the pot a bit of a shake. Okay, so that's what you want to achieve at the end of it. Get him in the middle. There we are, one tomato. I've already started doing this just a minute ago, so I've got 3 already done. If you don't want to grow your tomatoes yourself from seed and you usually buy them, well, that's fine, but when you buy them, they'll probably buy them in a pot this size, and I would then suggest that you don't put them straight into a grow bag, but pot them up again and get yourself some nice, strong plants going before you put them in the big grow bag. There we are. So that's another one, and we've got 2 more to go. So these are a little cherry tomato, Strillo, they've got quite a nice root system on, and they're not too tangled, so these should do very well. The stem of the tomato is, and the stem of most plants, is quite fragile at this stage, so that's why you hold it by your true leaves, your baby leaves, so you don't damage the stem. Okay, last one. Well, I must admit now, this is the first year that I'm trying this completely peat-free compost. So I've tried it in the past and not been too happy about it, but I believe it's very much improved now, so we must give it a go, because the peat industry is, well, it's all being phased out anyway, so we need to get used to using the peat-free. So this bit of compost now can, you know, go onto one of the beds and be used that way. It's never wasted. Just to show you something a bit smaller, these are gourds, and they're much shorter, so I'm going to sort of half fill a pot up with that one, and let's see what we can dig out. There's one there I don't want because it's not a very good one. So these are an ornamental squash, and my mum used to grow these years ago. I've never grown them before, but she used to grow them years ago, and then she they come out all funny little shapes and sizes, and she used to varnish them and put them in a fruit bowl for decoration. They're sort of an ornamental squash, ornamental fruit. So I thought this year, I just thought I'd have a few gourds. You can actually grow them outside once the weather gets past the frost-free stage. Look at that, it's absolutely beautiful root system on that. So these have been grown completely cold. These have not been inside. I only took the tomatoes inside, and I have recently taken chilies and aubergines inside as well, because they do need a bit of warmth. And as soon as the weather warms up properly outside, they'll be back out again. There we go. So that's a gourd. Oops, a bit more compost in there. So I'm just sitting it on, and then putting the compost around it. These obviously will give them a good water. Make sure they're all labelled. Water them, and then they will stay in here. So I hope this has been useful for you. Even if you don't grow from seed, it may encourage you next year to have a go with a few plants from seed, and save yourself some money from buying, half-grown plants from the garden centre. So if this has been useful, give us a thumbs up on the old internet, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.